What's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of Rada Boys Podcast. Today I have a special guest named Daniel Lopez. Um, so we're a new podcast. We're gonna be talking about every sport, random shit in this channel, random talks. So this is our first episode. We'll be talking about the Champions League that just happened this week. Amazing games, amazing results, a lot of upsets that happened this week. So let me introduce you, Daniel Lopez.
Okay, hello guys. Basically, the only random thing that is going to be happening in this chat, in this podcast, is going to be this guy that you see at my side. That will be the only thing that you will find random here. But besides that, well, as he said, we're going to be talking about pretty much everything. You're going to find a lot of interesting things and facts that perhaps you will not be able to find in other places, and we're gonna try to talk about pretty much everything. So first, what should we talk first? Should we talk about the best game of this of the tournament yet?
Yeah, we should get right into it. I think it was Liverpool versus PSG, a really tight game, but I felt like Liverpool played an outstanding game. Control the whole game, controlled the ball the whole game, had control of the game. Showed some great opportunities that they should have scored. Um, and I think PSG just came out loose. Didn't come out focused. Neymar didn't really do nothing. I feel like when I watched that whole game. And yeah, amazing that it was 3-2. I feel like it should have been 3-1 or 4-1. Liverpool side.
What game were you watching, dude? What game were you watching? I mean, I hate PSG because I hate it. That's the reality. I hate it. I'm gonna talk with my liver. I don't fucking care. Uh, but Liverpool dominated some certain parts of the game. They didn't dominate the whole game. And I saw PSG very strong at the end of the first half. I saw them very strong, like in the middle of the second half, and they got some very clear chances. Yes, perhaps they had the absence of Neymar. Did he play? I think that he played. Really? Yeah, I didn't see him at all. I saw a lot of participation from Mbappe, a lot of participation from Di Maria, but I didn't see neither Cavani, neither besides the goal that I didn't see Cavani and I didn't see Neymar. So basically, this game, yes, it could happen 3-1, 4-1 because the strongest team for and the attacking part um, was Liverpool, but that that game could have gone either side at the end.
I think I disagree with you. I feel like Liverpool just had to control the game. Obviously, there's going to be downfalls during parts of the game. That's every team. But I feel like they controlled the whole game. There was one goal that I think should have still counted. It was I feel like that ball that the goalkeeper, PSG goalkeeper, and then I think it was a midfielder forward from Liverpool. I think that was a 50-50 ball. They're both going at it. That's my opinion. That's a 50-50 ball, but obviously they have.
I have to agree. I have to agree with the I have to agree with the referee. I mean, that was a clear two ball shot. I mean, dude, he almost crushed his balls in that play. In that play, it was almost an impossible thing that this goalkeeper could have reacted after he got his two balls crushed, dude. It's impossible.
It's a 50-50 ball though. But nowadays they tend to protect the goalkeepers as they do with the quarterbacks in the NFL. I understand that, but I don't know. I feel like that was a 50-50 ball. I feel like either of them could have won that ball in the area, but obviously they like to protect the goalkeepers as they do the quarterbacks. So that's why I think it should have been 3-1 or 4-1. Um, but the goal that PSG made, the first goal, was an excellent cross. I think by Cavani, excellent cross down the middle and a great shot. The second goal, it was like I feel like either Neymar or Mbappe had the chance, or just right there. I feel like Liverpool's defense kind of they messed up in the back, but I'm glad that Liverpool won. I'm glad because a lot of people say PSG. should is gonna win the Champions League. A lot of people say PSG is a good team. They are a good team. They have so much talent, but they don't know how to use the talent. I feel like I don't know. I don't think PSG will make it out of the group stage. Who knows?
PSG is not a great team. That's the difference between PSG and Liverpool. Liverpool is a consummated big team. Manchester United is a consummated great team. Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, Milan, those are great teams. Bayern Munich. You will see those teams always struggling, always fighting to get a place at least in the last four. But PSG was created in 1970 something. That is not real team. I mean, that's made by money. It's like Manchester City. Manchester City was a relegation team a couple years ago. Now they have money and they have Pep and they have De Bruyne and they have all this other place. But look at what happened. And then we go to the next game. That game next game was the worst, the flaw game. What was it? Manchester City against Lyon. Manchester City lost the game. Why? Why did they lose the game? They're so good. If they have this very good quality of players, they have this great coach. They are not big teams. That's the reality. They are not big teams.
This is the problem. I feel like great, great competitive teams like they go in there with the mindset, oh, this is gonna be easy. We're gonna win. But you have the smaller teams fighting to go past the group stage. That's the difference between a big team and a team that hasn't been to the Champions League. Is that the team that hasn't been to the Champions League is gonna fight harder than the team that has been there because they're overconfident. I feel like that's the difference that happened in Manchester City's game. Manchester City, when they're confident, they're like, all right, we should win this. This guy's never been here before in this big stage, or they have been, but they don't know what it feels like to be in farther down the Champions League, so they don't try their best. But now you have this team that's coming in, but like, all right, let's fight for everything. They have nothing to lose because they're not a big team. So I think that's what happened in that game. They were not focused. They didn't go in focus, and then they got overconfident. That's what happened. Because Man City has the opportunity to win this whole tournament, same as PSG, but they don't focus up. They go in the games thinking they're gonna win easily, and they just lose focus.
Mm, I will tell you that it's more than that. It's not just focus. I think that it's also the mentality of the whole team. It's not only the team that makes the club. I mean, it's not only the 11 players that are in the field or on the three or the four substitutions. It's not only them. It's not only the coach. It's also the whole structure that it's aside of them, at the side of them. What do I mean with this? You will not find in Manchester City a retired player that you can say, okay, this player was a legend for us. We can talk to this guy. He will guide us through this or that or this thing. Let's consult this guy. He might have an idea on how to handle this situation. They don't have that kind of personality inside their club, and that is their main problem. And that's why you see PSG struggling. Last year struggling against Real Madrid. The year before a 4-0 difference. Man, losing a 4-0 difference in Champions League, you have to be very bad. It's a very bad mentality you need to have to lose that's such a big difference in score. I mean, I know it's a good Barcelona. I know it was a good Real Madrid, but dude, please, you cannot afford to make that kind of mistakes when you're putting so much money on the table to try to get a a a silverware. I mean, you're trying to get not this Farmers League. PSG doesn't even compete in this Farmers League that they are playing in. Manchester City, they have a very good performance in in the in the in the Premier League, and Premier League is very hard, but it's not enough. Sometimes it's not enough.
Talking about Farmers League, actually, what's it called? Saw an article on ESPN where it says that Neymar didn't have. It's not getting the competition when he's in PSG, meaning like they don't play nobody good during the season, which is true. Because if you're playing teams that are not strong enough, what's it called? There's no competition. There's no test. There's not a real test. So they go into these games with big teams that have tests during the season that know what to do in certain situations, when they're down or when they're up, and how to close a game and how to start off a game. Versus a team that doesn't know how to do that because they don't get that very often. So that's one thing that PSG is lacking, or that league is lacking, is competition, more competition. As you see in the Liga, they have big teams: Madrid, Atletico, even those teams that are not even in Champions League, like well, Valencia's one. Um, what's it called?
Valencia's in Champions League.
Yeah. What's it called? Who else? Other like same as Premier League, Chelsea, Arsenal, freaking Man United, Man City, Liverpool. All those teams are competitive. All those teams will give you a fight from start to end. PSG doesn't have those teams during their league. They have, like you said, Farmers League. So that's what's happening with PSG. That they're not getting enough competition during the season. So they go into these Champions League games not knowing what to do in certain situations. So that's one thing that's happening, you know. So yeah, that was one of the biggest games. Well, I feel like the game of the week was Liverpool and and PSG, and I'm happy that Liverpool won. I don't like PSG. A lot of people say that PSG is good, 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 but they don't do nothing during the Champions League. Yeah. So let's move on to the Juventus game. Well, the red card that Ronaldo got at the 29th minute of the first half. There's a lot of arguments saying that shouldn't have been a red card. I looked over the foul several times on Twitter. The guy, I feel like it was either a trip up or Ronaldo pushed some little hand shove in the offensive box or in the box, and then he pulled his hair. He pulled the opponent's hair, and they gave him a red card. I don't think that should have been a red card. I think that should have been a
I
yellow
think
card.
that it's not about the aggression. It's about the action itself, because the action itself shows that, like, if he's petting the player that he's interacting with, he shouldn't have done that. He's a very mature player. He has 32 or 33 years old. He is no longer a kid to do this kind of stuff, and he is very clear about that. He knows that, and he shouldn't have done that. He was crying. I never saw him crying once when he was playing with Real Madrid. That's an interesting thing, but he shouldn't have done that. I mean, that is a disrespectful thing to do, and well, I think that it's a very well deserved red card, even if it's perhaps it was a little too hard on him, but the the referee did everything according to the rules, and it was just in front of him. If he decided that it was the correct action, it was the correct action. I mean, he was in front of the whole play, and it was not the center referee that made the decision. It was the other referee that was behind the goal, and he was just in front of the play, and he had a very clear view. If he said, "Dude, you have to kick him off," he has to kick him off.
I don't think it should just be a straight red. It has to be a yellow. I mean, well, I don't know. People are arguing. I mean, it's a man sport, but the action I know was kind of harsh, but I don't think it's just a straight red on that. He just really like went like this to him, you know. So I don't think that was a straight red. He either tapped him or pulled his hair, one of the two. It looked like he pulled his hair and then tapped it, or tapped it and then pulled his hair. But I don't think that was a straight red, to be honest. Even though they won 2-0, and I looked, and Valencia had like majority of the possession, I think, during that game. It had more,
They
had
had a
more,
lot of chances.
yeah, and had more shots too. Which I don't know how, I didn't really see that game as much, but I feel like Valencia, I should at least put one behind the net, or at least put two. But Juventus won. He will be. They're trying to. They're trying to see if he's gonna be banned during the Man United game. They don't know yet. They haven't really confirmed, but we'll keep you guys updated on that um throughout the next podcast that we'll be having. But if he is uh suspended for that game, it's gonna be a really good game, Man United Juventus. If Man United comes out and plays their style of football, they're gonna give Juventus a hard time. And I don't trust Juventus goalkeeper either. I don't trust him at all. Just like I don't trust PSG goalkeeper, which Gigi Buffon is suspended for 4 games. Which is kind of crazy. So that's the reason why I say PSG's not gonna make it through because their goalie's not good. Their goalie's not good, and they just lack focus. So yeah, so Juventus won 2-0 against Valencia. PSG lost to Liverpool 3-2 with the last minute goal of Firmino with one eye. His previous to that game, they stuck a finger in his eye, so he couldn't see off. I think his right eye or his I think it was his right eye, and he scored the game-winning goal at the last second in stoppage time, which is really crazy. He went in, scored the goal, and then the game was over. Um, so yeah, what other game do you think was outstanding? I mean, Barcelona PSV. Messi scored a hat trick. That was gonna happen. Dembele's goal was nasty. Dembele goal was ridiculous. Beautiful goal. So Barcelona won that 4-0. Uh, and
Also, Real Madrid. Real Madrid, we had a very good performance from Real Madrid that is showing now that it's a more team is more a team than a one player team that it used to be. So it was an interesting thing to see that this coach has given a lot of confidence on some of the players. Like for example, let's cap it with Mariano's goal. Oh, dude, that Mariano's goal was amazing. It clearly will give him some more clarity on what's coming next. They gave him number 7 of Cristiano Ronaldo. Dude, that's a big shirt to put on after the player that just left it. And that thing, and also um, the the good performance from Keylor Navas that puts another thing, another I, actually it clarifies the strategy that Lopetegui is going to have. Lopetegui is going to leave Keylor Navas for Champions League, and it's going to leave Courtois for the league. They have had some very bad performances in the defense on the last season. So I think that it will be more focused on having Courtois filling up that gap. That it's the consistency. Keylor Navas is a very good goalkeeper, but sometimes when his team is not good in front, he's not the kind of goalkeeper that is gonna start yelling at his partners or at his defense, and he's gonna start yelling. Why? Because he's from Costa Rica. He's a guy that he's there because his fellow teammates are the ones that are supporting him, but he's not that heavy. He doesn't have that heavy personality that Iker Casillas had. So that's what they're trying to bring into the team. Some people say perhaps Courtois. It's a very good goalkeeper, but Keylor Navas had the Champions League. Yes, I'm Costa Rican. Keylor Navas is very good, probably the best goalkeeper that we will ever have in our country. But he never have had the personality to show off what he's capable of. The only thing I have seen him like doing outstanding performance was against Bayern Munich last season. He even received 2 goals, but he had another outstanding performance. And it will take a lot of time for this guy to get used to the team, and I think that Courtois is gonna get used. And at the end, I think that at the end of the season, on or perhaps on winter, he's gonna be having the goal of Real Madrid for himself.
and this is the difference between the old Real Madrid team and the new Real Madrid team. The old Real Madrid team always depended on Ronaldo. So the midfielders will look for Ronaldo, and the Ronaldo will make the plays. This Real Madrid team is a team. They start from the back to the midfield to the midfield to the front, and they're not just looking for one player. They're looking for everybody to make a play, to make runs. And the one thing that Real Madrid has had success over the past years they won the Champions League is that midfield. The midfield is really aggressive. They know how to control the ball really good. And I always tell people, if you can control the ball in midfield, you will win the game. And that's what they do. That's what Madrid does. That's why they have been successful in the last three Champions League, and they're gonna be successful this year because of that midfield. And now they're playing as a actual team, not just one player, which is Ronaldo. That's the difference.
I think it'll take a while for them to get used to this thing. I think it will take a little bit more to get them to get used to this. But I don't know. I see that Modric is getting old. Kroos is probably in his prime years, but in the midfield, besides Modric and Kroos, they will have no deep, no depth on that. Ceballos is good, but he's not an outstanding player yet. And it'll take a while for them to get used to the whole new system that the coach is trying to implement. I know that it's gonna take a while more. What other game should we talk about? What other thing? Oh yeah, my team played today, Arsenal. So I'm happy that Arsenal made it 4-2 against a team that not even their moms know their name. So ni sus madres conocen ese no, el nombre de ese equipo, huevón.
Another interesting game was Tottenham and Inter Milan. That game was good. Despite that Tottenham didn't have Deli Ali or the goalkeeper, their starting goalkeeper and the starting midfield, Deli Ali. Even though they lost, they still played outstanding without those two players. Um, Tottenham controlled most of the game. They had possession of the ball. They were up 1-0, and to a minute 85 is when, no, minute 85 is when, or either 70, 73. I think minute 73 is when Icardi scored the tying goal, and then minute 85 or 86 is when I don't know the other player name scored the basically the game winning goal to go up 2-1 and win the match. But Tottenham did put up a fight without those two players, without Dele Alli and the goalkeeper, which is really impressive. So Barcelona doesn't have it easy this group, because I feel like Barcelona would get a challenge from those two teams, Tottenham and Inter Milan. But as you know, Barcelona is the clear favorites for this group. They should be number one because caliber of players they have in the bench and in the field at all times. So if they need some aggression, they'll put Vidal in the midfield. If they need some great passing, some great shooting, they'll put Coutinho and Rakitic in the midfield with Busquets. So so Barcelona does have depth, so they should be number one. But I feel like those two teams will give them a little challenge. But yeah, I thought the Tottenham Inter Milan game was really amazing. Inter Milan came back and won to win it. Came back to win it, and they won 2-1. Um, see, anything else you want to add to this?
Yeah, perhaps Tottenham was more dominant. That was like the main thing that was gonna be shown uh, because of the tactics of the coach. But at the end, it doesn't matter who's more dominant. What matters is who makes the goals. And of course, these guys showed they're far better. They have a good mentality. The Italian. That's what I was talking about. This Juventus and an Inter game show what I was talking about, the greatness of a team. If they have very good players, but they complement that with a very good quality of people behind the team, of course they're gonna be showing great results in the big stages, like the champion.
Yeah. Uh, talking about that Group B, another player that really actually shined a little bit. We didn't really get him. We didn't really get to see his full capacity of what we could do, but shine gave up Barcelona a hard time. Was Chucky Lozano, or AKA Speedy Lozano. He gave Barcelona a hard time in the back. Sometimes Barcelona was off balance in their defense, but they regrouped, and I feel like he's gonna be a really great player. I feel like he will be the next star. He will leave PSV for a bigger team, obviously, if he keeps up with this talent, and he will be Mexico's new star in the upcoming years. So look out for that, Chucky Lozano. He's a really great forward, or they call him Speedy Lozano. He gave Barcelona a hard time, but as you know, Barcelona has a good defense back there with Jordi Alba, Samuel Umtiti, Sergio Roberto, and Piqué. But yeah, well, what other games stand out for? Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. The other games were like 2-0, 2-1. Um, Bayern. We knew Bayern was going to win. Bayern should be number one in that group. Uh, Atletico should be number one in that group. Well, Pulisic scored the game-winning goal for Dortmund, which was a little funky goal. It was I think it was a rebound. So yeah, he scored the winning goal for that.
Yeah, United States is also gonna be having very very good time with their in the upcoming years with their teams. Mexico and United States have a very big uh, young team that is playing in the most important leagues in the world, and that's gonna be showing off probably on the next World Cup qualifiers.
So a lot of young players from the U.S. and Mexico that are becoming great players that we should be seeing the next couple of years. Hopefully by the next World Cup, we'll see some great players for the United States and Mexico. Um, but man, this Champions League is gonna be really good. It's a lot of teams in here, a lot of strong teams, a lot of young teams. But let us know in the comments below who you think is gonna win the Champions League this year. Um, it's looking tough. We still have Madrid that's capable of winning it. Barcelona is capable of winning it. Juventus is one of the number one contenders to win it because of the new addition of Ronaldo. Who has Bayern, Liverpool. So let us know in the comments below who you think is gonna win the Champions League. And yeah, this is all for that's all for this podcast, episode one. The next episode two, will be coming out hopefully next week, and we're gonna talk about Conor McGregor versus Khabib. We might have another special guest on that. We'll try to see if we can get him in. That fight is October 6th, UFC 2029.
So we're,
No,
we're gonna see real fighting.
yeah, we're gonna see real fighting. Not that,
The
not
guy we saw in boxing with
yeah, none of that.
El Canelo and the other.
Yeah, none of that Canelo versus Triple G
Triple G.
bullshit. Yeah, we don't like
We don't
that
see that
pussy
shit. I
fight.
didn't like that. I didn't like that thing. I mean, after the last time I saw fighting between the fight between Pacquiao and this other black guy. What is his name? I don't even care what his name is. Uh, I saw these guys were more focused on how I don't want to get hit than instead of real fight. So boxing is dying. Uh, boxing is dying.
Yeah, so we will be talking about that Conor McGregor and Khabib fight, which is October 6th in Las Vegas in the T-Mobile Arena, UFC 229. It's gonna be a really good fight. My bets are on Conor McGregor, second round knockout, left hook.
Your boyfriend.
Other people say Khabib is gonna win. But yeah, we're gonna have another episode. We're gonna talk fully about that fight. Hopefully, we could get a special guest in. But yeah, guys, that's all for this episode. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you like, comment down below what you guys, anything you guys want to add to this conversation, or and who's gonna win the Champions League. Make sure you comment down below, and see you next time. Peace.